This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Let's talk about the news. From Gizmodo, giant kite will pull a ship across the ocean next month. Using wind power to move ships is far from a new concept, but using a giant parafoil kite to pull a modern cargo ship is a fairly novel undertaking. And that concept will be tested by a company called Airseas in January. The ship to which this 5,380 square foot, which is about 500 square meters, kite will be attached, hauls airplane parts between France and the US, and will still use a traditional engine, but if all goes according to plan, it will use that engine a lot less, which could reduce emissions from such journeys by up to 20%. And that's true of this kite model, which is meant for relatively small cargo ships, and a larger model meant to be attached to full-sized modern cargo vessels. Both are controlled by software that keeps them aimed in the right direction for maximum wind capturing capability. From the Wall Street Journal, Biden administration to combat Omicron by distributing 500 million at-home COVID test kits. From the beginning of the pandemic, under both Trump and Biden administrations, the U.S. has been criticized for its lack of a cohesive and well-funded test and trace program, which allows the medical community and public officials to know what's happening, when and where, and to make informed decisions based on that data. President Biden has announced that the government will distribute 500 million at-home COVID test kits for free as part of a larger effort to fill in some of those long-exposed data gaps. This news dropped on the same day we learned that Omicron has become by far the most dominant variant in the United States, which introduces all kinds of new complexities due to the speed at which it spreads and all the things we still don't know about it. The news also arrives right as many Americans are about to gather with family and maybe even take trips for the holidays, which underscores why these tests becoming available in January is so important. There are likely to be a lot more cases after all those get-togethers, and the availability of at-home tests might lessen the strain on medical facilities and pharmacies, which would otherwise have to conduct all those tests. And from Protocol, Oracle is buying medical records giant Cerner for $28 billion. Enterprise software giant Oracle has bought medical records giant Cerner for about $28.3 billion in equity. This purchase is being seen as an acknowledgement on the part of Oracle management that cloud computing may in fact be a thing that sticks around, something they've been publicly skeptical about. There's also a more overt healthcare play here, which is a space that's booming because of the pandemic, but Cerner is also a big deal in the digitization of healthcare records space, which may give Oracle a commanding lead in that facet of the larger, also booming, cloud computing industry. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.